Oh man, okay guys. So you're wondering, like, what the what is this, Paul? Yu-Gi-Oh! The Dawn of a New Area? FPS 60 to 59? What is this? Well, let me explain to you all. I was thinking about doing this for the past few days, and I was like, I really don't. I even put it on my Instagram. I'm like, I really don't want to play Yu-Gi-Oh against randoms, and I was thinking, I'm like, I'm not gonna spoil this for myself, but I came with a great idea. I may lose a bunch of times, but I'm going to explain to you two decks. The first, I'm gonna have to make this a separate video because I'll just want to make this the deck review for what's called the Paul's Unrestricted deck. It's too long to put the name there, but yes, this is my unrestricted deck. That means, like, as you can see, there's some banned shit in there. Some banned stuff in limited, but I have it in there nonetheless because I don't give a fuck. So, let's explain. This is my true ultimate deck. I have the two decks I'm going to explain in separate videos. I have these two in real life. Not with me right now. I actually am letting someone who I believe it would be a great team member in the future, the one who did my tattoo. Uh, yes. I let him hold not only mine, but my husband's deck too, Retsky, which, as you saw the list, I just call it Retsky Divine because that's my husband. That is his deck. So that we'll focus on that another one because I'll explain that and I'll use that in another one. But so let's start off. We'll just go top to bottom. So you're like, wow, holy shit! If y'all have ever seen Yu-Gi-Oh before, you're probably like, well, what is all this crazy stuff? So you'll see how to play and everything like that. I personally don't play. I'm going to be playing in the Pendulum era. Well, we'll see because I think there's a lot of these AI decks where it's just literally robots um, that use Link stuff, which I hate that shit. They would be going in this deck as blue cards, and that's what Link monsters are. They would be kind of a blue like this, but not really. This is not a Link monster. That's a ritual monster. But anyways, so let's start off with Tierra, Source of Destruction. So as you see, you're like, whoa, what is all this stuff? Monster effect, special summon, fiend light, star 11, 3,400 slash 3,600. What is this? Well, you'll learn what that is eventually. But so basically, the short simple version of this card. So in your hand and on your side of the field, 10 different cards that have different names on your side. You select them, and then you shuffle them back in your deck. And that's how you special summon this big thing. It's like a fiery emperor scorpion. I don't know. I never really was like, what the fuck is this? So this is very powerful. Extremely hard to bring out for me. Fucking Kaiba, get the fuck out of here. Kaiba. Okay, but anyway, this bitch. Okay, I'm just gonna let him. Alright, anyway, so yeah. So basically, it is very awesome, but hard to summon. But the reason why I have it in my deck, if you're wondering, like, Paul, you need that much to summon this thing? Like, come on, it's just one card. What can it do? Well, by the time I'm explaining, you probably have already read it and be like, okay, he's just explaining too much. But it's awesome because it's basically everything except for the things that are in the banished zones. It like shuffles everything except for this card when it's summoned. And as you saw, it can't be negated, the summon, but there is a way to defeat this. I'll be nice enough to let you know my weaknesses of my cards too, because I'm one of the people that I have like this powerful shit in my deck, and you're probably like, wow, he's not very fair. He has banned cards. No, like give me a chance to explain. So one ultimate way you can just negate the fuck out of this card is if you had a card like this, Fiend's Chain. Now, I'll explain it now because I'm hovering over it. This is a trap card, trap continuous. And as it reads, you can activate it and you equip it only while there is effect monster on the field. and you equip it to that, and it completely negates the effect. Now you're gonna see when I battle, you're gonna see some bullshit. There's this. I'm gonna search it up right now. There is this monster called Stardust Dragon. Stardust Dragon. Here we go. This punk ass bitch. So the thing is, the reason why the reason why I like but also hate the automated game version of Yu-Gi-Oh, except for the real life card version. The real life card version for decks like this that I have, and then Retsky's deck, I'll let you know right now. This was included with the deck boxes that I bought with them, and the card sleeves and all that shit. But all of these and the least amount that I could get on the TCG player, total, I think it was over $500 that I spent on this. So you really you're probably thinking like, damn, for some cards, but no, keep in mind, like I said, I did buy the deck box that can fit 60 plus cards. Well, no, for Retsky's, he doesn't have any in his side deck, so he doesn't have to worry about over that, but he does because it's over that. So, so he's got that one, and I got mine, and we have deck boxes that can go onto like an anime strap onto a belt. It has a thing in the back where you can just do that and clip. It's not super secure for mine, the blue one. It's like barely, but it's good. It's just like you really don't want to be having that in your belt when you're going somewhere. It's just kind of a cool thing to be like, damn, that is actually really cool. So anyways, besides that, that's a thing. If you're ever wondering, like, damn, you spend that much on Yu-Gi-Oh card? Well, I think it's gonna be really cool because in the future, I think it's important to me to have something like that because who knows, that shit might not be around ever again. So I wanted to get my deck, and then since I was buying shit anyway, I was like, you know what? Sure, I don't mind. Might as well buy my husband's one because he loves Yu-Gi-Oh too. That's basically how we met. That'll be for another day too, if y'all want to hear that. His is very heavily inspired off of mine. He made it himself, but he was a big fan of me, so he liked this deck, and he saw some stuff, and he was like, okay, it's pretty cool, pretty cool. But of course, he likes his own thing, so he does that. But anyway, back to this. So in the actual physical card game, not the robot version, if this thing would have got Fiendish Chained, and then, like it says, Fiendish Chain, it completely negates the effect, all effects on that monster. So the fact that in the AI version that if this is negated on the field, the Stardust Dragon clearly negated on the field, and it tries to activate its effect, it says you contribute this card to negate the activation. Like I said, it's an effect, so it shouldn't be able to do that, period. But it's bullshit. It's honestly stuff like that. And this card too, this is bullshit too, because when they mean special summon in the robot version, this is the robot version, the digital version. So then you won't be able to negate special summons like from this, or things like it's so annoying. Like, it is so beyond annoying. So I had to explain that to you all. You're probably wondering, like, damn, well, that's crazy. So anyway, so that explains this card. So that's how you stop Tierra. You can just activate that, and it's like, nope, you can't negate its summon. Like I said, it'll get special summon nonetheless. Your 10 cards will be shuffled from your side of the field or in your hand and go to your deck. But once this thing is summoned, you can immediately activate this if you have it on the field. And then you can negate that, and it's like, bam, there goes Tierra. So that's Tierra's probably one. Well, except if there's like pre-field things that negate effects overall, then that's like another way to stop it. But that's a really powerful card, and once it gets on, let's just say that basically when this thing attacks directly, which it will be able to attack in that turn, because everything else is gone except for that monster on the field and the cards that are banished in the banished yard, but everything else will be it'll be gone. It'll be cleaned out of there, and then that's when it's for an ultimate attack. But it's mainly so I can reset my deck, just in case. And it's nice. It's nice to have something like that to recycle your cards. I really, really hate banishing my own cards, you'll see that I don't have a single card that that I would be wanting to banish just in case. But there are some cards that I can use to banish other people's cards, and I'll get along to that soon. So anyways, on to these two. You see them? They're like back to back. They're like, oh damn, doing a little dance. But no, these are called Sacred Beasts. Now, so this is Haman, Lord of Striking Thunder. Because in my deck there is only 3 continuous spells. That's how you bring out Haman. You need to have 3 continuous spells on the field and send them to the graveyard, and that's how you summon this big motherfucker. So yes, very powerful. Like, wow, this is crazy. There's so many combos you can do with this fucking thing. Like, it is insane. So it's already powerful on its own, just attacking. Every time it destroys a monster, an opponent's monster, by battle and sends it to the graveyard, it'll inflict 1,000 damage each time to the opponent. Like, there is this other card. I'm gonna say this. So imagine you equip this fucking thing to Haman, and you were just dishing out damage. You'll already always get 1,000 life points off your opponent, and the normal amount of life points that are in duels, single duel and all that shit, is 8,000. So honestly, you're probably thinking like, oh, 1,000. Yeah, it stacks up. It really does. And if you're not lucky, then you're fucked. It's like literally you can have as much skill and experience. I would say I'm a master at this game. But it doesn't matter because if you don't have the luck and you're not smart about shit, then you'll fucking lose in no time. Especially against overpowered people. This is why I hate fighting randoms, because the shit that people use normally is just so fucking obnoxious. How fast they win, how the way they easily bring out shit like bam, 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 and their turns take fucking forever. And I hate that shit so much. That's why I didn't want to. I probably don't know when I'm going to fight online again for this game, for Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it's obnoxious. Even in real life, it would be obnoxious because I know I'd be angry. I'm like, I wouldn't have a good time. They probably wouldn't see me because I would be having a mask on if I was like out in public somewhere. But you know, yeah. So that's this combo. Equipping this to Haman just be so strong. It'll give also 1,000 attack boost, so 5,000 attack. Very powerful. And yes, there are monsters that can go double or triple that amount if you play your cards right and you just like bam, 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 stacking up all these damage. You can. It's very possible, but it's a little bit tricky. So it's amazing. That's when it's an attack position, as you see. When this thing is in defense position, oh man, it's literally like the ultimate defense. There's an ultimate combo with this thing. So if you have like this equipped with this equip spell, a Moon Mirror Shield, yeah, basically you'll be good because like it says, when it's in defense mode, your opponent can only attack Haman. And if it has Moon Mirror Shield, then it's not going to lose because Moon Mirror Shield, as you see, its defense becomes equal but 100 plus higher. So they won't be able to beat Haman like that. So you got to do some tricky shit. And just think that if I have these two on the field, I can be able to bring out all these motherfuckers, summon these things, all this shit. Like, if it's hard as shit to get out Haman, like I said, because I only have exactly three continuous spells in my deck. Not even in the side deck I have anymore, so it's literally those 3. But I have a way to bring it back. I got this, and then I got cards to bring back cards from my graveyard, like these 2. But it's tough. But Haman is definitely one I always am really happy to bring out. I'm like, oh yes, it could be extremely powerful attacking force or a defense force to be like, all right, I'll protect you all. It's very cool, very awesome. So this is the other sacred beast, Uriah, Lord of Searing Flames. You're like, wow, that's a red dragon. It's very nice. I really do love the art in this game. Very cool. Most of my tattoos I'm going to be getting, if you didn't know, I'm not going to just only have one tattoo. I'm going to tattoo most of my body. And most of the tattoos, like 95% of them, are going to be Yu-Gi-Oh! Art like this. Not the card itself, like the art like this. So that'll be like mainly the ones from this deck and my husband's deck, and I'll be like the god of light and darkness, where it'd be like my right side is darkness stuff and my left side is light stuff. It's very cool. So anyway, that's what I think. Anyway, a lot of people are really think I'm gonna be like crazy as shit, but I'm not. I just like the art. It looks cool. So anyways, as you can see, you special summons like Hamon, but with continuous traps, and I have a shit ton of continuous traps. Like, to count them here, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then if I want to add any more, 9, 10. So you only need 3 face-up ones on your field to bring out Uriah, sorry. It is very, very powerful, but can be easily destroyed because, as you see, well, Paul has 0 attack and 0 defense. Well, if its effect isn't negated and you have, well, at least the 3 that you just sent to the graveyard to summon this, you'll have 1,000 attack for Uriah per continuous trap that's in your graveyard. So it can be very powerful, but easily defeated, like I said, because it'll always have 0 defense. And if its effect is negated, well, it'll have 0 attack. So it's very awesome because basically not only does it get extremely powerful, but I love its effect, like it says there. You can target one set spell or trap card your opponent controls and destroy it instantly because that effect can't be negated. So it's pretty cool. You can do that once per turn. It's very nice. It's a very cool effect, not only to have this big, amazing Uriah, but it's a very cool one. So that's Uriah. That's the easier, way easier one to bring out than Hamon, because there are so many continuous traps, and yeah, pretty easy. So anyways, now we got Blowback Dragon. This is very simple, but it's a very, very helpful effect. It all comes down to luck. So once per turn, as you can see, you can target one card your opponent controls. This can be a monster or a spell/trap. So if you get the coin toss correct 2 times out of 3, you can just destroy that, which it's really nice. It's really nice just to be like, bam, let's try it. And you never know. You can get extremely lucky, and then bam, before you attack, you'd be like, oh, wow, nice. I got rid of that sneaky set card or monster spell or trap or something else. Because, I mean, hey, you might as well. It's a very nice one. No, don't get me wrong, Blowback Dragon can be easily defeated in battle. Its attack and defense is nothing so special, but, it's a good one to me. I like Blowback Dragon. This one, though, oh, man. This... So not only do I have this as a card, but there's actually a trap card that has it too. Oh man, I had this card way before I had this card. I didn't find out about this card until, I don't remember when I first saw this one, but once I saw it, I'm like, oh, I need this fucking thing in my deck. So this is Guardian Sphinx. Very, very cute. He's a big cat. As you can see, its defense is only slightly better than Blowback Dragon's attack, and you're like, what's even defense? Come on, you need that attack. It's got 1,700 attack, which is pretty nice, but the effect is why I have this Guardian Sphinx. So once per turn, you can change this card to face down defense position. That is incredible because when you flip summon this card, you return all your opponent's monsters to their hand. And oh my god, there is a combo wombo that you can do with this shit. So there's this card right here. One of the 3 continuous spells that I have in my deck. It's called Degenerate Circuit. And yes, it is a little bit annoying. It forces you to pay 500 life points during each of your standby phases. It's not optional, as it says. But monsters that would be returned from the field to the hand are removed from play instead. So that means they get banished. And unless you have a card to bring back banished cards, yeah, those motherfuckers are staying out for that duel. They're like, you can't bring them back. So this can really backfire on me because I have cards that can just be screwing myself over, but it is so worth it because if you get this combo off with this, you're basically going to be banishing your opponent's monsters every time you flip summon this because, like I said, they won't be returned to the hand. No, if this is up, they'll be banished instead of returned to the hand. So that is an extreme combo. And there's other ones too, like for this Penguin Soldier and for this too. This is a luck card. So what I like to do with this one, I like to have at least one of the three card types in my hand: monster, spell, and trap. So there is a low chance that they will guess it because it's a 1 in 3 chance when they attack and I activate this. And if they don't get it right, well, they would normally get returned to the hand. But of course, if I have this, then they get banished. So that's a nice wombo combo there. Very nice indeed. So that is the power of Guardian Sphinx. Very awesome card. This one, this is what's called a pendulum monster. Now, you see the card frame, there's another one. You want two of them at least because of the super cool effect. As you see, it says, here, I'll put my mouse over it. There is a little number right here, 1-1. You're like, what is that? And you see on Zany Zebra, it's a 7. So that means monsters that have level 2 through 6, you can special summon them as many as you want once per turn with the pendulum summon. As long as you have both of these two in the pendulum zones, then you can do that combo wombo. But the effect as it is, both in when you summon it and when you put in the pendulum, you can basically make a monster. Well, I guess if following a monster, you can. Oh, it's a monster you control. Okay, so I was thinking it was something else. But basically, you can protect your monster once per turn from getting destroyed by battle, which it doesn't seem like it's going to be that helpful, but trust me, it gets helpful with the combos I do, because you're like, bam, stacking up damage, bam, bam, if luck doesn't happen where it's like, oh, need one of these or something like that. And yeah, so it's very nice. Performable Gum Gum Mountain is very cool. It used to be called Performable Rubber Mutton. I remember that was like years ago. It used to have that name instead, but nope, it's Gum Gum Mountain. So anyway, that's a cute son of a bitch right there. Look at that. So then, oh man, Star Wars references. This one is extremely good card. So Cosmol Wicked Witch, you're like, whoa, it's Darth Vader, but in female form. Awesome. So the higher effect, you're like, during either player's turn, you can banish this card. You're like, oh, Paul, I thought you said you didn't want to banish. No, trust me, this is not for that effect. It's for the other effect. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can pay 1,000 life points. You're like, whoa, 1,000 life points for what? But this is very important because this card is a level 4, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But this card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. So it's very nice. Its defense is extremely shit. So basically, if you're trying to live off of this card, you're going to have to pay 1,000 life points every turn, because most likely, most things are going to be able to take down this thing unless you pay that 1,000 life point ultimate defense. So it's a very nice ultimate card. It's at a price, but it's awesome. It's extremely good. It's a good attack too. 1,900 is a very good attack amount. But I'll explain why level 4 is so important, because these things called XCs or XYZ monsters. So what you usually would like to do, if you only have 2, because if you have this one up, you're like, oh, well, I got another level 4, summon, and then bam, combination. So you want to bring out this thing. You're like, whoa, Utopia? Well, that's not that great. But the thing is, with this, if you have this one on the field, you can immediately special summon this, and then immediately after you can special summon this. Now this is an extremely dangerous, powerful man right here. So, so his effect is pretty much like it's almost game over for the opponent once this thing comes out. And the reason why I have 2, oh man, is just in case I wanted some double trouble. And if you could somehow do a combo with that, how you would do it if you bring something back like this, use its effect when you attack to make its attack 5,000 instead of 2,500. But just for that instance, when you attack an opponent's monster. And that means you have to discard one of your materials. So how it works, so you get a level 4 and say you use this level 4. It doesn't have to be that exact one. It can be another level 4. But you do that, and you combine them together, and you put it under this black card. So those are called materials. And then, of course, this becomes a material to that, and this becomes a material to that. So then you got a total of four, yeah, you got 4 total materials you can use while you have this thing on the field. So that means you can use your effect twice. As long as you keep at least one Utopia monster as a material, you can use that 5,000 boost effect. But this card will always have this ultimate awesome effect. When it attacks, that means your opponent can't activate any cards or effects at all. So that's like, it can't activate anything and be like, well, oh, good thing I got this trap. Well, no, when this thing attacks, you can't activate shit. You can't. So that's what's so awesome about this card. The 5,000 attack boost is just a fucking big bonus, but the fact that when you can attack, you don't have to worry about shit activating is really nice. Especially if you're thinking like, oh, Paul, what if they have a, I don't know, like a penguin soldier? Then it's going to return back. Nope, that doesn't matter. When it attacks something like this and it's face down, their flip effect won't activate because, like I said, effects don't activate when this Grand Utopia the Lightning attacks, number S39. So that's really awesome. But one other thing that you can do with just 2 of them is this cutie. Look at this. There's a wombo combo with this one too that I'm about to explain. So number 82, Heartland Draco. And it's very simple, but really awesome. So while you control a face-up spell, that can be either this, or this. Well, this is like, well, it's still a face-up spell. But yeah, when you have a face-up spell, or when there's just, yeah, while you control a face-up spell, your opponent cannot target this card for attacks, which is really good, because if you see, its attack isn't that impressive. Its defense is a little shitty, but the effect is extremely good. So you can do this twice, because you only get 2 materials for this, and I don't have any cards that give more materials unless I resummon the thing. With this way of the XCs, where you're like, bam, level 2, level 4s in combination. So there's some cards like this where you can choose 2 or more level 4 or whatever monsters, and that's for a different reason. You'll see why I have that, and why it's banned. You'll see why. So this one is really awesome because when you discard 1 material on this, then you can attack your opponent directly, and you're like, oh, okay, 2,000 damage, that's not too bad, Paul. That's why I see you have 2 of them, so if you wanted to, you can just, bam, take out their 8,000 life points. But there is an ultimate combo with this cute little cat shark. Oh, man, it is an extreme combo. Probably wondering, like, well, Paul, what is this, little cat shark? Look at that shitty 500 defense, 500 attack. What is this? 2 level 2 monsters. You're like, huh, wow, that's nothing. But if you haven't read its effect, well, this card has an XC's material that is originally water, which this is originally water. So if you have this as a material combined with either this, or this, then this thing won't be destroyed by battle. And you're probably wondering, well, Paul, you can just have something like this thing, where if they attack a monster in defense position, you know, they just die because it's an effect. So Cat Shark is shit. Well, you'll see why this thing is so incredible. Even with that, just 1 turn at all it takes. So, its other effects. You can detach 1 material for this one. Say you just want to keep it alive most of the time, so obviously you don't want to discard the water one, which is Penguin Soldier. You'll be able to target 1 rank 4 or lower monster, XC's monster you control. Its attack and defense become double. Its original till the end of the turn. So that means for this will get 4,000 attack instead of 2,000. And that's a direct hit. That is half their life points if they only have 8,000. And think, if they already have damage, then they're almost dead. And that's crazy. It's such a crazy combo. You could do it with this too. And this, because these are both rank 4s. And this too, but why the fuck? Well, I guess for that ultimate defense, 5,200 defense. But this will be a little over 5,000. But, you know, it doesn't have that effect like this one. But this is a rank 5. It is a good thing that this thing's a rank 5, honestly. Because if it wasn't, oh man, the amount of bullshit you could do with this, it's crazy. But that's a cool, really ultimate combo that I love to do. when I can. It's really hard to pull it off because you need to summon a lot of shit. So these monsters are very, very cool. That's why you see most of my deck has them. Only if you have these white cards, you're like, white cards? Well, I explained with this one, but I didn't explain how you summon it. So anyways, then you got this one. This is another Cosmo, but it's a good witch. Oh, but this one a Cosmol. Okay, no, she's a Cosmo. Cosmo. Okay, do a little dance. All right, never mind. All right, so very cool. You're like, oh, okay, not too bad. A little weaker than the Cosmol, but very great defense compared to the Cosmol's defense, but not the top effect. I don't give a shit about that. This one, the once per turn one. Once per turn, you can pay 500 life points. Then target one face-up monster your opponent controls. You change it to face-down defense position. Now this can be very good because say you can't beat your opponent in a head-on with an attack. This thing, say this thing was in my way. Look at that defense. Look at this thing's attack. That thing is going bye-bye because you use your attack, which is on the left, and the right is the defense. So if they're sideways, not face up, then they're in defense position. So then it would get destroyed. So they're a very good combo. This one. So as you see, they're like, wow, Paul, what the hell is this? 1,300 attack. That is dog shit. But 1,100 defense is better than the Cosmo, at least. But the up effects I don't care about. This is the effect that I really care about, the one at the bottom. When you take damage while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card in attack position. You can only use this effect once per turn. So imagine the combos you can pull off for this fucking thing. This is a level 4 as well. And so is this. All these are level 4s. Not this one though. All these. So, oh, this is even a level 4 too. So that's another potential. But this is really cool because if you know that you'll be able to cheese the special summon, it's fair because you're taking damage and then you're bringing it. And then you're like, oh, well, hello, I got a level 4. Very nice. You can be smart about that. Very smart. And that's you can easily bring out Xyz monsters or use this to tribute these. Because if you didn't know, you're like, whoa, what are these stars? So level 4 and below, besides this, you need to special summon this in a special way. You can just normal summon or set once per turn. But these, for 5 to 6, you have to sacrifice one monster on your side of the field to bring this out as a summon, to set it or summon it. And this, you know, I don't have any monsters with higher stuff, so it's only these that you need to tribute something. But then these are a different story, like I already explained those. So this Heroic Challenger 1000 Blades, very cool one. Drillroid, very awesome too. Yes, these ones are very key. This, though, there's another Roid. It's a submarine Roid. You're like, whoa, 1,800 defense, 800 attack. What is this? This is a really cool one. This basically has an infinite effect. Instead of having to worry about the more powerful Heartland Draco, this is a more permanent, easy solution to just be like, well, I want to attack you directly, so you can. But whenever this thing attacks directly, it always has the original attack. So it doesn't matter if you beef this thing up, it'll always only do 800 damage when you attack directly. But it's really nice. And the really cool thing about this, you're like, okay, Paul, they can just destroy it next turn because it has 800 attack. It's so shitty. But no, the reason why I have this thing is so cool. So if this card attacked or was attacked, you can change this card to defense position. So it's at the end of the damage step. It's very nice, very ultimate card. It doesn't seem like it's much, but it's really nice to get out the more powerful Xyz monsters. It's really nice, or something else. It's very cool card, very awesome. Now this is a very good one. This is a defense card basically, but it's a level 4 nonetheless. That's why it's very important. Speedroid Menko. You're like, whoa, 100 attack, but 2,000 defense. Impressive. The defense, at least. Obviously, the attack is pretty shit. But anyway, it's when your opponent attacks you directly. Only directly. And if this card is in your hand, you can special summon this card in attack position. And if you do, it does something amazing. It changes all face-up monsters your opponent controls to defense position. And this can be extremely good, not only for that effect to save you, but to be able to just special summon that on your opponent's turn. So that's why it's so incredible, because you can easily wombo combo to get one of these. Or potentially this one. So if you're wondering, like, oh, Paul, you can just use 2 for these. No, there's a reason you don't want to only use 2 for this. You want to have a little more. Exactly 1 more. So anyway, we'll get to that soon. You got the level 3s now. Swarm of Locusts. And you're wondering, there's 2 buggies because they do the same thing but with different thing. So they just switch attack and defense. Swarm of Locusts, Swarm of Scarabs. So Swarm of Locusts, it's just like Guardian Sphinx. Once per turn, you can change this card to face down defense position. That's the same thing with Swarm of Scarabs. But with this one, if this card is flip summoned, you can target one spell or trap card your opponent controls and destroy that target. It's very nice. Once per turn, remember. It's the same with this, but except for it's the monster instead of the spell or trap. So it's very nice. Infinite, but they are weak, and you have to flip summon them, but it's very nice. Now this thing, that's a scary one. It is very tricky to use this because it can be very helpful to you or not. It's a very nice card anyways. It's very good defense. 1,500, you're like, okay, but you got the Speed Remenko, but you'll see why, because it's a level 4, that's why it's important to care about those other ones. But this is a very helpful card. As you can see, you're like, whoa, it's an alien or something. What is that thing? Great Alligator. Now this thing, if this is in your monster zone, and it is destroyed by battle or a spell effect and sent to your graveyard, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, equip this card to that target, and that means you basically take over their brain or something. Because that means you control them. As long as this one is connected to that card, then that's your monster to use. As long as it stays up on the field. But there's a thing you could do, a little tricky thing. You can use Book of Moon. You can target one face-up monster on the field, change that target to face-down defense position. So that means the monster you just took over is now in face-down defense, but it's still on your side of the field. And that means you don't have to worry about this thing that just went to the graveyard, because when you flip summon it, well, it's yours still. Or you can just keep it in defense position. So yes, a little tricky combo you can do, because this is a quick play spell. That means you can play it while it's on your side of the field in face down defense position, and on the first turn that you draw it. Only the first turn that you draw it. The Yugioh is weird like that. So yeah, Great Alligator, very cool one, because sometimes you just gotta take what your opponent has. If they want to bring the bullshit, take their bullshit. So this, oh man, a very easy but a little bit more difficult to handle with version of Tierra. So this is like, you're like, whoa, 500 attack and 500 defense. What is this? So when this thing is flipped, each player shuffles all cards from their hand, field, and graveyard into the deck, then draws 5 cards. So this can be really good for you, but also really good for your opponent. So you gotta be careful when you use something like this. And I have 2 more of these in the side deck. In the side deck, I'll explain to you. In a match duel, when you lose or win in a duel, both players get to choose to switch things from their side deck to either their extra or their normal deck. So there are some cards that'll always probably going to be switching out. You'll see. It's coming up soon, but this is a really good one. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. And you're wondering, whoa, what is a tuner? And this, tuners, they make these white cards called Synchro Monsters. So what you do, so let's say for this one, Armor Arm, it's a level 4. This thing's a level 3 tuner. You need 1 tuner, and the other monsters need to equal up to that level. So that means I would need Ash Blossom being the level 3 tuner, and I would need a level 1, which would be Magician of Faith, or this thing's tokens when you flip it up. And you get the Black Sheep tokens, because those aren't tuners. Or this, Relinquished. And you really wouldn't want to do that, because I'll read to you what that does. But, and then you make this, Synchro Monster. And you can also use synchro monsters as that too. So you can just use these to make other synchro monsters. As long as you have a tuner monster and it's what it says, then you're all good. But besides being a tuner, it's pretty nice. You want to keep this in your hand, but if you need to for defense to make sure you don't die, then you want to keep this in defense position. But, because you can see that 0 attack is very dog shit. But when a card or effect is activated that includes any of these effects, this is a quick effect, you can discard this card to negate the effect. So anytime anyone tries to add a card from their deck to the hand, anytime someone tries to special summon from the deck, anyone who tries to send a card from the deck to the graveyard, you can just, once per turn, discard this from your hand and be like, nope, negates that effect. So it's pretty nice for a lot of people who like doing that shit. That's a thing you can do. So anyway, Speed Warrior. This is a fan favorite card for me because I love Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. It is very cool, very awesome anime. And this comes from that. It's coolest, probably coolest screen time I've seen on a card in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime is like Speed Warrior. And then, Speed Warrior does stingy skates around and stuff. But he's a cool one. He's not too bad. He's a level 2, so he's somewhat helpful to bring out the little cat shark. Very nice. But not super crazy attack or defense, as you can see. But it has a nice little thing when you summon it out for the first time in that turn, on the first turn that it was summoned during the battle phase. You can activate its effect. You can double its original attack, and then yeah, it gets 1,800 attack. So it's pretty nice. So that's only for that turn though. So it's like, haha, we match up with Cosmo, and then nope. At the end of that, back to 900 attack. So it could be nice. It could be, this is a cool one, but it's not that crazy. So that's something I would switch out for the side, something in the side deck, just to let you know. But this, Mask of Darkness, one of the old original cards that I had from back then in older Yu-Gi-Oh games. This is a very cool one. Very awesome. So it's so basic. It's like, oh, 900 attack, just like Speed Warrior. What the? At 400 defense, what could this be? So it's a flip card, basically. When it's face down in defense position, and it gets flipped up by either getting attacked or you flip summon it. Either way, its flip effect is target one trap in your graveyard, add that target to your hand. That is going to be very nice, because as you see, all these pink cards, they are trap cards. And this is a very nice mask, very nice. You already saw what Penguin Soldier was, but you didn't see the effect. You're like, whoa, look at that sword, the sword. 750 attack, 500 defense. It's a penguin. And it's like the flip effect again, but you can target up to 2 monsters on the field, return the target to the hand. Why this thing is so incredible, not only just to be like, bam, 2 of your monsters on the field, bye-bye, back to the hand. And when it's something like this, back to the hand means back to the extra deck. So they just go bye-bye. And any of the materials they have their Xyz, they go to the graveyard, but then these just go back to the extra deck. So that's what that is. But if you have a sneaky strategy, you can flip summon this, bring this back to the hand, and also one other thing. So you can use it as like an infinite thing, and then just keep setting it, keep doing that. Remember, you can only summon or set once per turn, so you would have to use that as putting Penguin Soldier back on the field. So that's only works if you do that, really. So anyways, the other Pendulum Monster, very nice. Either way, its defense is incredible. It's a level 2 as well, but you can put it in the Pendulum Zone, or you can summon it as a monster. But when this thing is normal or special summoned, you can choose one unused main monster zone or spell or trap card zone on your opponent's, or not on your opponent's, or you can do it on your own too. You can just negate that zone. So while this card is on the field, that zone can't be used. So you'll see these other two can do the same thing, except for they're continuous and they're just spells. So you select 2 main monster zones on the field. Neither player can use the selected zones. You cannot select the zone that is occupied by a monster. That's the same with this. You can't use a zone that's already occupied by a thing. So, yeah. So, well, except for Spell or Trap, it seems like you can use it on a spell or trap one and be like, well, you can't activate that shit. I think that's what that is, or maybe not. I'm assuming because it can't be used, so that means that could be a good way to. I never think I've done that before. Could be good, But anyway, that's the Zany Zebra. Very nice. It looks like it stinks or something in this picture. Smells like ass, I guess. This is another old card right here. Oh yeah, Penguin Soldier was another old card as well. I forgot to say that. Good old Penguin Soldier. Magician of Face is another one. This is exactly like Mask of Darkness, except for a trap. It's a spell from your graveyard to your hand, so it's pretty nice. Very good Magician of Faith. This, oh man, this Scapegoat. This thing is incredible. And if you can play your cards right, well then you'll be able to bring out this big motherfucker. So this thing, it's a tuner. Very weak attack and defense, level 1 monster, but it's incredible because if you manage to keep this thing alive and you flip it up, you can summon as many black sheep tokens on your side of the field as you want. All of them will be level 1 attack, 0 defense, 0, but they're not a tuner, so you can use those as to tribute them, or you can special summon with like the synchro, so it'll be nice. So anyway, how you bring out this thing, usually what I like to do, I have one level 4 on my field, and then I flip summon this, and then you only have 5 monster zones, so you can have this, that's 1. Then you summon 3 black sheep tokens, that's 3. Then you have 1 more, and that's all your monster zones being taken up, but then it's equaled up to 8 stars because you got 1 and then 3 black sheep, then that equals 4 stars, and then another 4 stars from this. You can bring out Beelzy of the Diabolical Dragons. That is one of the main reasons I have this card, but mainly just for that defense. Just like the fact that you can summon all of those black sheep tokens when this flips up. You just put them in defense, like, take down my defense, will you? We have a gang of other little cute ghosts. Look at this. And it's very cool. Very ultimate awesome card. So Beelzy, this thing is next to impossible to beat. But there is weaknesses. I'll let you know right now. There's tons of weaknesses to this card. So first of all, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. Remember, the Fiendish Chain, yeah, you can just say, fuck you, Beelzy, and just put that on there and just destroy it by that. And all its other effects will be negated. And keep in mind, when this is onto a monster, they can't attack as well. They cannot attack. They can go in defense position, but they can't attack, so they're literally basically useless. So that's a thing. So, but this, if this doesn't have its effect negated, oh man, this thing could probably be the most powerful thing if you live long enough and this thing is up. So anytime you take damage from an attack involving this card, or from an opponent's card effect, this card gains that attack compared to the damage you took. So say you just got attacked by I don't know, Utopia the Lightning, and you took that 5,000 attack, but it was like you only took 2,000 damage because it's 3,000 attack. Well, this thing doesn't get destroyed, and now it has 5,000 attack forever until it gets flipped face down or its effect gets negated or something. So this thing is extremely powerful. Pretty tough if you can't return it back to the hand or anything like that, because this thing, it'll bite you right in the ass. But it's very good. It's one of the reasons why I like Scapegoat, because it can bring that thing out easily. It's very good. I might as well explain the other Synchro Monster. This is basically a really cool, easy version of bringing a monster back from either graveyard to your field. If it's not needing certain conditions like this, if this is just in the graveyard without being summoned before once, the same with this, then you can't just simply bring it just because it's in the graveyard. They have to have at least been summoned once in that duel first, and then if they're in the graveyard because of that, then you can do this and bring it back. So this is an easy one to bring up. All you need is something like just this plus a level 2, bam. Level 5, Samsara, Dragon of Rebirth. So it's really nice because this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, or if this card is just sent to your graveyard by opponent's card effect. You can target one monster in either player's graveyard except another Samsara Dragon Rebirth, so you don't have infinite bullshit. You can just special summon. You can only use this once per turn, but it's a fucking amazing card. So good. Now this is an easier way of that. You just activate this, summon, activate this, target one monster in either either player's graveyard special summon. That's a very nice, easy one. But as you can see, you can only have one. But if you don't give a shit about me and there's this, then yeah, you can use ban cards too. But I'm obviously fair, so you know you'll see. But this, oh man, this is a very nice, basically an equip, but also tuner. Torque Tune Gear. It's a tuner, but it's also an equip monster. You're like, Union? What is Union? That means it's like as it says, it only has 0 attack and defense, but that don't matter. Once per turn, you can either target one monster you control, equip this card to that target, or unequip this card and special summon it. A monster equipped with this card is treated as a tuner, which is really fucking good. So basically, say you just equipped it to this Gum Gum, then that becomes a level 5 tuner. So it's like, damn, we got that. Or if you wanted to, and you don't have this one, because you need a dark tuner, so you can just equip this to one of your dark types, like this, or this, or this, or this. And I think these two are dark. Yeah, these are. So any of those, they'll become tuner as well. And then you can be like, well, now you have a dark tuner. Now you can bring this out if you equal up to 8 stars. You have to exactly equal it up to that many stars. That's the only way you can bring them out. So yes. So anyway, it's a very nice one, but not only does it get a 500 attack and defense, it becomes a tuner. If that monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can just straight up destroy this equipped card instead. That's equipped to that. And you'd be like, well, goodbye, armor. It was nice. Thank you for saving me. So it's very nice. So I'm going to end this one here. Damn, this is taking a lot longer than I thought it would. Jeez, I'm going to have to be putting a lot of videos up today. So, yeah, I'm going to end this one here. I'll be back. But, yes.